This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Tap the banner or visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
The More Money Show with Steve Moore on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
We are back, folks. This is the More Money Show. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend in the middle of March, as spring is now upon us, it appears. Although, my gosh, I hope we still don't have any more snow and cold weather. It's been a brutal winter. And as George Harrison would say, here comes the sun. It feels like years since it's been here. Okay. So this is a big story. I teased it a little bit in my last segment, but where are Americans moving? Where are they going? And where are they leaving? This is the biggest story of America. It is transforming this country. I've talked about this week after week after week on the show for the last 5 years that I've been doing the show, the More Money Show. And by the way, I hope you all are getting our Unleash Prosperity hotline, which is absolutely free. It costs you nothing. Just go to unleashprosperitynow.com and just tap on the button for hotline, and we will send it to you for free, and you'll learn a lot from it. I think you'll enjoy it. We have over 100,000 subscribers already. But one of the items that we had this week was on this story that the new numbers are up from the IRS about where people are, not just where people are moving to and from, but how much money they are taking with them. What's their income? And is it poor people? Is it middle class people? Is it rich people are leaving these states, and where they're going and where are they taking their money? And so to analyze this data, my good friend and colleague, Wendell Cox, who is one of the top demographers in the country, he works with me at Unleash Prosperity, has come on the show. So first of all, Wendell, thanks so much for coming on this weekend.
A pleasure to be with you.
Okay, a lot to cover, Wendell. You've gone through the numbers. I've gone through the numbers. Let's present them to our listening audience. So I'm looking at the states, the top 5 states that gained money from other states. Florida was number 1, a net $21 billion. Texas was number 2 with $9 billion. South Carolina and North Carolina combined had $8 billion. And then Arizona came in 5th with $3 billion, along with Tennessee, which was 6th with $3 billion. These are big numbers, and these are net numbers. Every one of these states has either no income tax or low income taxes.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And the one thing that a lot of people don't consider is that, for example, Florida, with its $21 billion gain in terms of personal income from people moving in, that $21 billion is going to be there every year.
Yes.
And that's a big deal.
That's unbelievable. You're right. And in fact, this is just for 1 year. And so over 10 years, as you know, Wendell, your analysis finds that Florida has brought in, if you take the number over a 10-year period, and the cumulative amount of the money that was transferred out of other states was over $1 trillion for Florida.
Boy, it's just amazing. It really is amazing. But what it says, and people don't, a lot of the professionals do not understand this. When you allow the cost of living to get so high, as in these no income, as in the states with big income taxes, no one can move there. They can't afford to. I mean, you can't turn your state around if it's too expensive to live there. Middle class people aren't going to move there.
Well, it's so interesting that it looks to me, as I look at this list that you helped put together in analyzing that new IRS data, that, let's see, I'm just going through it. Florida, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Arizona, Tennessee, Nevada, Idaho, New Hampshire, Georgia. well, 8 of those 10 are red states, and you could say 2 of the states are, let's say, purple states, maybe 3. Arizona is kind of purple. They have a Democratic governor, but and Nevada is kind of purple, although they have a Republican legislature, and New Hampshire is kind of purple as well. So it's all red states or purple states that are seeing people enter into.
That's right. Yeah. And like New Hampshire, for example, in doing the research, I was really impressed that they've basically gotten rid of all their wage income tax. So if you live in New Hampshire, you're not paying a tax on your wages. It's not quite the same as some of the other states, but they've made some great progress there,
So this is something that's been going on for a long time. The numbers seem to be a little bit lower this year than in the past years. And I think that I'm just hypothesizing here, Wendell. Tell me if you think I'm right, that the numbers are not as big as they were in 2020, 21, and 22, in part because of the COVID really caused a huge outmigration from blue states because the blue states foolishly locked down their economies.
No question about it. I think your analysis is right on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think one of the lessons here is don't shut down your economy ever again, because you will see your wealth move out. When we come back with Wendell, because we got to take a quick break, Wendell, when you come back, I want to talk about the states where people are leaving. And this will be of special interest to our listeners in the Northeast, because that region is being bled to death in terms of interstate migration. New York and New Jersey are near top of the list. They're not number one, though. When we get back after the break, Wendell Cox will tell you the number one big loser, the source.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
Gary the Snake.
And your last name?
The Snake.
Dream Team. New habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home. Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG. And right now you can get Disney Plus and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 3 months with a special limited time offer. Ends March 24th. After 3 months, plan auto renews at $12.99 a month. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Cologuard. Do you know what's really scary? Not screening for colon cancer when you turn 45. The Cologuard test is non-invasive, requires no special prep or time off work, and ships right to your door. In just 3 simple steps, Cologuard takes the scare out of colon cancer screening. If you're 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about the Cologuard test. Cologuard is available by prescription only. Learn more or request a prescription today at Cologuard.com/screen.
Welcome back, folks. This is the More Money Show. I'm your host, Stephen Moore, economist, and I hope you're getting our Unleash Prosperity hotline that we come out with every morning, because you can be the smartest person in the room. If you read it each morning, it takes you about 5 minutes. And we're talking about the new report that just came out a couple of days ago from the IRS that looks at how much money, when people leave one state to another, how much money they take with them. And my friend and colleague Wendell Cox is on the line with me, because he is one of the top demographers. He's done the analysis before anyone else on what these numbers are telling us. If you're just joining, we relayed the information that Florida, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Arizona were the big winners. And that, in other words, they imported between those 5 of them, somewhere about $40 billion from the non-net from other states. That's a big, big stack of cash that came into their state in just 1 year, by the way. If you look at over 10 years, the number is roughly 10 times that high. So now we want to get to the loser states. And Wendell, as I look at these numbers, New York, as you know, was second worst. Will you tell our audience, please, Wendell Cox, what was the big loser state in 2023?
Oh, it was California.
Yep, California. And so California lost 24. Let me make sure I get this right. Though last year they lost $12 billion. New York State was lost $10 billion. By the way, this is the net number. In other words, it's the amount of money that came into this. I mean, that left the state minus the number of the amount of money that came into the state from movers. California was number one, the big loser, then New York, then Illinois, then Massachusetts, and New Jersey. By the way, Wendell, those are the five most liberal states. They have the highest taxes. They have the most regulation. They have the heaviest Democratic-sponsored legislatures. And those are the states that people are leaving. What does that tell us?
Yeah, it tells us that nobody's paying attention. I hear recently that Governor Hochul in New York has started to talk a little bit about this subject. I hope she really begins to understand it, because it's a terrible shame what's happened to New York in terms of the people that have left. I mean, 4 million people net have left the state of New York since the year 2000. 4 million. That's as many people as live in the city of Los Angeles.
Incredible. I mean, it's just sad, really, because California and New York are critical states to the economic health of our country, and they're just being bled to death by these red states like Florida and Texas. By the way, going back to those states that gained, Florida was the number one, Texas was number two gainer. But what's really interesting is that Tennessee, and let me just get this whole list on here. Tennessee, Nevada, and New Hampshire are in the top 10. 5 of the states with no income tax had the most amount of money coming into their state. Wendell, what do you say about that?
Well, that's exactly what one would expect if you understand anything about economics. And
well, you know, what's really frustrating to me is that much of our audience listening to this show is in either the Chicago area or in the New York area, and all they want to do is raise taxes on the rich. And it just doesn't work, Wendell. I mean, every time they do this, the rich leave, including we're starting to see the rich leave Washington State and California at even faster pace because of their proposed new tax increases.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the Bears may move to Indiana.
That would be so humiliating. As you know, I'm a Bears fan. If they move to Indiana, the Indiana Bears, I don't know, that doesn't sound so good. But look, this is because these states have become unlivable. I mean, Massachusetts raised their income tax. New York has raised their income tax. New Jersey has raised their income tax. Why don't they get this? I mean, you know, these are the same people, Wendell, who lecture people like you and me. Oh, you don't follow the science. You don't follow the science. Well, the science says that people are leaving states that raise taxes, and yet in Washington State, they just went from being the lowest income tax state in the country overnight to becoming the 5th highest tax state in the country. I mean, how do you even explain that?
Well, and what's happened in the state of Washington is they've been raising taxes all along. You had that capital gains tax increase or establishment a few years ago.
Yes.
And, you know, it's only going to get worse. And by the way, in recent years, since the pandemic, Washington, along with cohorts, Oregon and Colorado, have basically seen net domestic migration stop. So these states that were attracting a lot of Californians, mainly to move there, they're not attracting them anymore. Now they're going to Idaho and Utah.
Yeah. And now, of course, the concern is that some of those red states, like the people in Idaho and the Dakotas, and you mentioned Utah, they're worried that those Democratic voters are going to come in and change the state. But it looks like the people who are leaving are now the Republicans, not the Democrats.
Yeah, it's become a little clearer that this is the impact, which it wasn't that clear 10 or 15 years ago to people not so inclined.
Yeah. Well, it's an amazing story. Thank you, Wendell, for your great work in assembling all this data so we would have it ready for the show. We're going to have a full report on this at our website, Unleash Prosperity. And also, you can go to our website if you have not already done it, called votewithyourfeet. Is it votewithyourfeet.net? Yeah, votewithyourfeet.net. And it has, you can look at every state, what's happening, where are people moving to and from, how much money you can save to move from one state to another. So you should look that up, folks. That was Wendell Cox, one of the top demographers in the country with Unleash Prosperity. And when we come back, we'll be on with Jay Jackson, who's been a regular. He is back by popular demand. So hang with us.
Thanks for listening to More Money with Steve Moore. You can hear More Money with Steve Moore Saturday afternoons at 1. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?